have been cooking. We got to talk about them really quickly. Cavs moved to 5-0 after the Harden trade. Mitchell, Harden, Allen lead the Cavs to 118-113 win over the Hornets. This is 5 in a row for the Charlotte Hornets. Now, there's a lot of different things going around with this because people have been talking about this. We'll get to Darius Garland a little bit in his comments that he made concerning the trade. But first and foremost, let's get to what Donovan Mitchell had to say and how the Cavs came out with this win.
If I get 100 to 200 more, it's crazy to think that I've been here this long. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like it was just yesterday. I love being here. I love being a part of this group. Love being part of this organization in this city. And to see the crowd we have on the road, man, like a lot of Cavs fans. Before I got here, I didn't realize how many people were actually from Ohio. So to hear that everywhere I go, man, it's special. And to see the impact we have on the city as a team is special.
Listen, shout out to Donovan Mitchell, man. This is what goes to show you. There's a lot of people that were against the trade. And here's the thing that you always got to remember. When this trade happened, there was a lot of people that are in the media who didn't like this trade because of what the perception of what James Harden was. And when you see this in real time, you start to see that there's levels to certain things. And James Harden has not been a saint in any stretch of the imagination wherever he's been. However, what's undeniable is his game, his willingness to pass the ball, his basketball IQ. And it's a thing called synergy. Sometimes you can have a bunch of messed up relationships, but the synergy you have with another person is different. And right now, when you look at the synergy between Donovan Mitchell and James Harden and Jared Allen, it's tremendous. Look at the way Jared Allen is playing. Look at the way that man is playing. Let's take a look at the box score from last night. Look at this. They moved Dean Wade into the starting lineup, right? I believe it's 3 for 3 from three-point line against the win at home against the Brooklyn Nets. He comes back in this game, 2 big threes down the stretch. Jared Allen, 26 points, 11 of 15, 14 rebounds. This right here is what you wanted to see from Evan Mobley. If Jared Allen's going to give you 26 and 14 rebounds, you're going to cook. James Harden, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. Out here doing exactly what he needs to do. 2 of 3 from the three-point line. And then Donovan Mitchell, 32 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. And this is him just showing up and showing out. This is him with another 30-point game. Sam Merrill, 2 of 4 from 3. He had 10 points. Dennis Schroeder came off the bench and contributed with 8 points. This team is going into a stretch where the Cavs are going to be lethal. The way that they are constructed, it gives them a reminiscent flavor and feel of the way LeBron James and Kyrie Irving moved in his 2016 finals. Go back and watch game 4. Actually, it was game 5. Elimination game in Golden State. Kyrie Irving, 40 points. LeBron James, 40-plus points. And they just wouldn't let him lose. The reality is James Harden is a guy that's going to get guys involved, but he's also a guy that can get his money off when he needs it. Earlier this season, he had 51 points against this same Hornets roster and team, and he was playing for the Clippers. In the NBA history, only twice has a player had 90-plus points, 40-plus assists, and a 5-0 record over his first 5 games with the team. Both times, it was James Harden, once with the Sixers and now with the Cavs, right? It shows you how prolific it is. He continues to show you how prolific he is. And when you take a look at the rest of the schedule, this is going to tell me a lot about who the Cavs are. Coming up Sunday at Oklahoma City, ABC matinee game. SGA ain't playing, but who cares? That's their fault. Then you go and get the Knicks at home on Tuesday, the 24th. That's on Peacock. That's another primetime game against a team that's right in the same pecking order as you, and we're going to see what they got. 25th, we at Milwaukee. Giannis is back. We'll take a look at that game, and then this is a big-time game at Detroit. Detroit is cooking in the standings. They lead the Eastern Conference. I believe they're 42-43 in like 12 or 13, and that's on ESPN. That's on ESPN. So the Cavs have a lot of things coming up that are really gonna help solidify and show you who they are. Evan Mobley needs to be worked back in. He came back and played pretty well against the Brooklyn Nets the night before. And the encouraging thing about this move was it was a back-to-back game. So they left Cleveland after the next game. They blew them out the night before. They fly to Charlotte and then play in a back-to-back, and they win that game without Evan Mobley because he was sitting out diminished restriction. So it gives you an opportunity to see in real time that the Cavs is not playing no game. I love the way the team is constructed. And right now, I'm looking at it like this. This is a great opportunity because I didn't expect to be able to talk about the Cavs. I didn't expect to even be getting into none of this, right? But the Cavs now have given me a spring. And the playoffs are going to count. So I'm definitely not going to be doing no hypothetical Shador conversations. Y'all keep that in the group chat. Y'all talk about them over there. I'm going to be talking about these Cavaliers and putting out this content. We're going to get to this draft. By the way, coming up next week, don't forget, we just saw Jordan Tyson. I'm going to come up with my new pecking order. We'll talk about that here in just one moment. We'll talk about that here in one moment. Let's get to this before we get back to the Cavs. Let's do this. So Darius Garland had some comments to talk about, and he talked about specifically with this. Let me pull this down. ESPN Cleveland had this. He talked about Darius Garland, and this is Mark J. Spears broke this news a little bit. He was talking about the trade and move. They thought that James had something that I didn't. I believe they want to win right now. They have a group. They have a group too, and I guess I really wasn't part of the plan. Darius Garland on the Cavs trading him. Now, in my opinion, I don't think necessarily he made it seem like they just didn't want him and he was expendable. I actually do think, and I'm not a cutthroat type individual. I think that Darius Garland, that kind of hurt him, to be honest with you, because he was the first max player that they had signed. They had chosen him over Colin Sexton when they had a decision to make. He was an individual who was looked at as one of the faces of the franchise. And when you're moved like that, it kind of hurts. By the way, Donovan Mitchell looks like he's playing some of the best basketball of his career. And Donovan Mitchell is talking about how happy he is to play with James Harden. So when you're seeing that and you're not back on the floor yet, I think, honestly, that hit him a little bit because it's the first time he's been traded. And I think everybody goes through that a little bit when you get traded because, it's everybody knows it's a business, but it don't hit you till it hits you. And so for me, I think the trade happened. And I always speculated on it, and we talked about that a little bit earlier. I think the trade happened because they were worried about the long-term ability for him to play at guard with that type of toe. And even when you take a look at the way James Harden is posting him up right here in this picture, you can just see the size difference. Look at this. Look at the size difference of James Harden and Darius Garland. You now have your point guard is 6'5", built, thick. Donovan Mitchell was undersized shooting guard, but Donovan Mitchell was built thick. You got 6'9" Dean Wade, 7 foot, 6'10" with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. Jalen Tyson is 6'6". The team is much bigger, more rugged, more sturdy. And if you watch the game down the backstretch, the Cavs with Schroeder and Ellis were getting multiple stops, pesky, energy. And I think there is a level of, hey, we can upgrade size. We can upgrade passing ability. Darius Garland is a great scorer, but there is no lie that when you take a look at this, it's evident, bro. It's just evident. It's a better fit. It's simply a better fit. Let's continue to go. Now, when we talk about this, I believe this. All signs point to LeBron coming back. All signs. He had some high praise for the Cavs roster construction on his podcast, and also, I think he's warming the seat up a little bit. Ron always does this. I asked Greg Schwartz of the Bleacher Report, go back and check that interview out. It dropped yesterday. He said that it may be a 1+1. So, if LeBron comes back in the offseason, they do have some stuff they need to move around as far as the roster. I joked about Bronny coming, but Bronny got a guaranteed contract in L.A., so he might stay there. But here's what LeBron James had to say in terms of what he likes and saw with the Cavs roster, and why I think that this might get at ML 6481. Yeah, I called both of them thick. That was crazy. I should have said, pause. Let's see what LeBron and had to say about this, and we'll get back to it when we get back.
I think let's park the clips for a minute. But for the Cavs, you know, I think this is potentially a difference maker.
Yeah, they're going for it.
Yeah.
They're going for it. They felt like they needed, you know, another playmaker, someone that's been there, kind of been in this situation before, you know, and they added James, like you said, perennial all-star, who's still putting up all-star numbers, gives, you know, Donovan Mitchell another, like, ball handler guy who can make shots late in the game, but also, like, those pickups that they got from, you know, from Sack as well.
Yes.
You know, Schroeder, a former teammate of mine, you know, that's going to compete every single night, and Keon Ellis, guy who's going to compete, make shots. Those guys are going to be, I think, really, really good for that team. So, especially in the East, where it's a lot of bulk, a lot of, you know, a lot of, like, you got to have some dogs in there. So I think they added a lot.
Yeah, I think that's a great point about the two bench guys, Ellis and Schroeder. Schroeder, obviously, you know, he's going to the Hall of Fame. Yeah. You know, for not only having an NBA career, but what he's done with Germany. Yeah, for sure. You know, World Championship and the Olympic medal, European Championship. So that's a guy who's pressure tested. Yeah. So you add that to your bench, which is great. Yeah. I think there was something off with the Cavs, and I think it's hard to judge them because they were always injured too.
Exactly.
You know? Getting back to our conversation.
Yeah. No Garland and Strus. He hadn't played all. Strus hadn't played all year as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like Strus, it's interesting. I know we know him as a shooter, but like he was the dog on that team. Yeah. The guy that's going to stick his nose in there every night, and I think they missed that a little bit personality-wise. So, yeah, I think that's a difference maker for them.
Yeah, LeBron was sitting there talking about it. I tell people all the time. Brian was sitting there saying this, and he was talking about a situation where he likes what the moves are. Everybody likes what the moves are. And one thing that he talked about it at the end, if you didn't catch it, he's like, guess what, guys? Everybody was worried about the fact that Darius Garland wasn't playing. And so now you get LeBron commenting on things like that. And when you get that, it's so funny because you start to realize that it was literally Donovan Mitchell who says, hey, we need to figure this out. We need to figure this out. And if you get Donovan Mitchell playing the way that Donovan Mitchell has been playing, and you get James Harden, now who knows if they'll go ahead and extend him. I expected them to extend him, right? I expect him to extend him. But I think that if you look at that and what LeBron said, it sets up for a very scary roster. I mean, you got LeBron, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, and Harden. Come on now. That's spooky. That is spooky movie. That is, listen, that right there. And I always told people, for LeBron, I think it's at a point where I think LeBron is at a point right now where he can win another championship here. And I think at this point of his career, he'd be willing to kind of diminish the amount of money he's asking. Now, they only got a mid-level exception, and they got to clear a lot of space to even get to that mid-level exception, to be truthful. So I'm sitting here and being like, yeah, it's a possibility. It's definitely a possibility getting to that. Let me get to this real quick before we get to the LeBron situation. Let me get this. Donovan Mitchell had something to say with playing with James Harden, right? He talked about a little bit why it was that he was excited and what James Harden has been able to do. Let's get to this.
Hit you with a pass that you were able to just throw down. How good as a player does it feel to have a guy that can get you the ball and put it right where it needs to be? I mean, honestly, I didn't even think I was going to dunk it. And he threw it up there, and I went and got it. I was really nervous about falling on, I don't know his name, whoever it was under me. That was pretty much my only concern. That's why I hung on the rim. But that's special pass. He knew how to knew to put it there. Knew to act like he was shooting it, and I'm definitely putting that one on the wall for sure. So I was crazy. I was trailing the play. He threw it. I really didn't. I saw Don at first, like early, and then I looked as he threw the lob. I was like, "Where's Don?" Like, I couldn't even see him. I was like, "No way, Don's going to have to get this in traffic." And then all of a sudden, Don jumped. I was right back on defense. Like, that really just happened? Yeah, that really just happened. Let me know in the chat. Do you like the move with LeBron? Is that something that you guys want to do? Let me know in the comment section. We'll get back to that coming back here a little bit later. You never know when G. Bush might show up, radio, television, or internet. But if you want the fresh cut on sports, you gotta watch as I keep the Clippers. Have a great rest of your evening.
Peace.